Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Cygnuss Attempts. Today we're going to be looking at baking again, and this time we're going to be doing banana muffins. I've been making these for about the past month as well. They are incredibly good. They are even simpler in my opinion than the tarts that we did beforehand. And they work as this great little canvas for putting extra stuff into it. Now they are delicious on their own, but they can easily be jazzed up. A little bit of walnuts or maybe some chocolate, anything that you like. So, let's get into it. Alright, you're going to take your big old mixing bowl and you're going to take your 3 bananas and you're just going to peel them and, just break them up into pieces and throw them in the bowl. Yes, I peel my bananas from this end. Feel free to judge me all you like. Alright, a tip when you're getting out these bananas, make sure you take out that little hard piece at the end of the banana. The end that you're supposed to peel from, by the way. And make sure you get that little piece out, because that wouldn't be quite nice when you bite into a banana and have one of those. So as I do it, I break up each banana into chunks so it's easier to mash. And make sure with your 3rd banana, you attempt to do what your grandmother does, your Lola, would do with bananas. And if you can open it like this and do it properly without stretching the peel, you give the illusion that the banana has never been peeled. And when your friend that you stole the banana from at the lunch table picks it back up, he's very confused. So you're going to mash them all up nice and together. Get them pretty well mashed. You want to get a lot of the liquid and water out of there to where it becomes kind of like a jelly or a jam. Alright, next you're going to crack your egg over the bowl and drop that right on in. And then after that, you're going to dump your sugar into the bowl. And then you're going to give it a nice good mixing, working all that egg and that sugar all nice and together. Alright, keep mixing until it becomes a nice almost puree, but you can still see some chunks in there. Then add your butter. Make sure it is cooled. Don't want to curdle that egg. That is the bane of my cooking existence when it comes to baking, is I often will accidentally curdle my eggs in most baking dishes the first time I make them, because I just get impatient and just want to get it done, or I want to keep moving. So as you can see, there's still a few chunks of banana in there, but that's a-okay. Now you're going to take your flour, dump it into your 2nd bowl, then take your baking powder and then salt and dump it into the bowl too. Now I probably overmixed this more than I should have, but it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to make sure my baking powder and salt were nice and evenly distributed. So keep that a whisking it together. Okay, now what you're going to do is then combine them. So I pour a little bit in at a time because I find it easier to fold it in to my banana mixture. If I just do, about a quarter at a time, or maybe a little more, maybe a little less, I just kind of eyeball it. So what you want to do is fold in. Now a better idea is to have a rubber spatula or a spoon that doesn't have slots in it. I picked up my slotted spoon because my regular one was in the washer, so we end up having a little bit of a problem with some dried flour getting in between those slots and not being properly mixed. What you're going to want to do is fold in your flour until it is a nice sticky dough. You don't want to work it too much, because then too much gluten will develop and that'll make for a chewy muffin. Now for one, I enjoy chewy muffins. Okay, so continue mixing in and mixing and mixing and folding and folding. Alright, now fold the last bit of your flour in there and scrape as much as you can off the sides without making, too much room for gluten development. Fold it until all that nice last big chunk of flour disappears. there you have it. You have this really sticky kind of thick dough, or thick batter, kind of a loose dough. To me, if you ask me, it's a bit of a cross between both, so you can call it either. We're not really too technical terms here on my channel. So, you're going to reintroduce your good old muffin or cupcake tin, in my case, and you're going to fill them up. Now, it took me a little bit longer than the normal baking time because I believe the silicone pans don't conduct as much heat, so make sure you don't go by time, go by feel. So when you stick a toothpick into these muffins, you're going to want to make sure they come out clean, or if you tap the top of a muffin with a spoon lightly, it'll spring back at you and they're lightly brown. So that's kind of going to be how you're going to tell rather than time. I'll still list the time the recipe lists, but make sure you make adjustments to what you feel like you need to do. The reason I also like using silicone pans is you can kind of pop these out while they're still warm. You don't need to wait for them to completely cool because you can just reach under the muffin pan and pop them out rather than having to cut them out or pull them out if you have a metal muffin pan. Alright, go ahead and pop those in the oven. Pull them out and they should look like this. Let them cool and you can put them out onto a wire rack. Look at those. Put them onto your wire rack and then enjoy. Thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.